What am I using? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing tonight? So, we're going to talk about, I guess, the things that I've had going on in my life. For instance, I've had four fucking, what are they called, raccoons eat like eight fucking chickens and a duck, if you can believe that. The fuckers are huge, according to my girl. I know it's probably going to make me look old, but helps me see just a little bit better when I'm working on small things. Anyways, so yeah, that was one of the things that happened. I thought it was kind of interesting. Not very fun learning that fucking raccoons are that big. Still kind of crazy. I can't believe it, anyways. Yeah. So other than that, it's not been too bad. Kids are doing pretty good. They're all happy go lucky about school and everything else, all that fun stuff. Sorry, I'm gonna have some like phlegm in my throat or something. On. So, anyways, we're playing a 410 too, by the way. Shouldn't I get the damn thing out of here? Fuck, my fingers don't work like they used to. There we go. So I've had, I took down like, what was it? Total of like 10 trees now. Turn around and sell the wood with those anyways. It'd be kind of cool. Make some money out of that. Chop down a couple of them by hand with an axe. Tell you what, that'll wear you the fuck out. You may think you got it in you to chop down this little 8 inch or 8 inch in diameter fucking tree, but listen, it's insane. Like, and you can ask my buddy, he was he was using a chainsaw, laughing at me. But anyways, so yeah, we were doing that. Hope I didn't just could. No, I didn't. Just sounds funny. Anyways, we were cutting down some trees right here because it needs to get done. I'm building a house. He's sitting there laughing at me because I was, you know, trying to cut down this tree with an axe. I mean, I did come down. I chopped down quite a few of them today with an axe, but that axe had to take a sharp, and then I broke my other one too yesterday. So that was another fun little thing to deal with. Piece of junk. It was just an old axe, really. I've been around the block a few times. But you guys ever do some stuff like I love splitting wood. Like splitting wood's fun as shit for me. Let me know in the comments if you guys like to do labor like that. It's good for you. I can tell you that. I do this shit pretty much every day and it's pretty good. Did I really just get disconnected my headphone? I think I did. No? No, I didn't. I think maybe it was just one thing. Uh, it was weird. Got a little weird little headphone sound on my left headphone. But yeah, no, we cut down some trees and I gave him some of the wood, because he's up here in the mountains with me too, so it's pretty cold. But so he was using a chainsaw, and his chainsaw kept dying out. And I made a joke. I'm like, you know what? At least my shit don't die out. I mean, I'm just using my God given strength. You know what I mean? Fucking halfway through the tree, I'm like dead as a motherfucker. I couldn't breathe. Fucking holding the axe, my hands are hurting. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Uh, yeah, we got some trees down where I'm gonna start right after I'm done, trimming all the trees and whatnot, and I'm taking what I can and trying to sell that. Anyways, 'cause people up here buy wood. It's cold in the winter, and a lot of people use fireplaces during the winter. So, but anyways, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna start laying out the plans. I'm gonna build my stepson an A-frame house. It's probably not gonna be there for long. He's gonna want his own place like any child does. Any kid, I should say. That's looking pretty gross. Let's get that out of the way. So, for just curious, anybody out there got any opinion on what's going on lately? Like with this whole government shutdown? I keep hearing all kinds of different rumors about what's really going on. Facebook's a liar, TikTok's a liar, everybody's a liar pretty much. I mean, of course, there are the real videos, but a lot of people nowadays are, that's my buddy would call them, keyboard warriors. So I'm kind of curious to get other people's opinions about, what they think might be going on nowadays. If these whole threats against people and taking their groceries and whatnot is real. I mean, I can tell you this: you try and take my kids' groceries, we're gonna have a huge issue, a huge fucking issue. I will not play with that. Those are my kids' and shit. There we go. Body. We're looking pretty good. Mm, little gross in there, but it's not too bad. All right. But anyways, to share, like I said at the beginning of this, a lot of things have kind of changed. I've noticed in the country, but it's not just that; it's people. People have changed into um, not really people anymore. They're everyone's all about themselves. It's kind of sad to see. The kid growing up, everyone looked out for kids when I was growing up. Nowadays, it's shit. I'm afraid to let my kids out of my sight. Scares the fuck out of me, the idea of them not being in my sight. It's only because of all the fucking weirdos and pedophiles and sex trade. Pretty much everything. It's just you got to worry about your kid all the time now, and it's sad. Like I remember growing up hearing stories about how back in the day you didn't have to worry about that shit. You know what I mean? Back in the day, your kids could go out and play freely. Shit, I could go out and play freely. I used to be able to when I was a kid, anyways. Being told to stay out until the fucking light comes up or until the fucking lights come on. Come on now. Where the hell is my damn extension for this? But no, it's just gotten to the point where it is truly sad. Can't trust nobody in today's society. You can't trust somebody to be um, a decent human being anymore. If you got to worry about your kids when you step out the door, what kind of society we live in? Which one I guess that'll work. No, I don't think shit. I need a fucking extension. Sorry, I'm like looking for something here, and for some reason I thought I had it, but oh, it's because it's going at the wrong pole. That's why. So, so let's see if we can make it work. But yeah, no, it's getting pretty sad. And then the things that are just is that have gone on lately, like with this whole government shutdown, but there's also other things, the whole um shooting of what's his name, Kurt, Charlie Kirk, you know, that and just things of that nature that have gone the wrong way as of lately have really kind of made me start questioning the integrity of people nowadays. And I don't mean for that to sound rude or disrespectful or whatever it is you people may think, but it is what it is. It's kind of rude and disrespectful when they're celebrating the shooting of the person, just a flat out person. It's, I don't know how else to put it. I don't know why anybody would be happy about it. Is what I guess what I'm trying to say. I really don't understand that at all. But to each their own, I guess. They all they're all gonna get whatever it is is coming to them. I guess is the way you word that. Anyway, so with this 410, I've got everything pulled apart. I took the stock off so I can get in there and clean that out a little bit. It's a little rusty and dirty now. Not rusty, but just dirty. Get this whole thing cleaned up. I'm probably gonna end up only doing this one tonight because I'm a little tired. Like I said, I've been chopping trees all day, and that kind of takes its toll on me. You know what I mean? If I can ever find this fucking part, like I don't understand. I guess I'll have to just use that. That'll be all right. I think this is it. Yeah, it was. I think this one's all right. So I broke one of my barrel cleaners a while back. That was not fun. Thank God I broke it after I got the piece out, but still, the fact that it was broken kind of pissed me off. Sitting here working on shit and it breaks. Not very fun. But then again, I can be a little rough on things. Not that I try to be, I just kind of am. Not intentional, but it does happen. But anyways, I like to go through the back, trying not to touch everything. There we go. I'm just gonna go slow all the way till it reaches the end. Pull it back. I usually do that a couple times just to kind of loosen up anything in there, and then I'll run my my barrel cleaner cloth through it and that out. Let's see. Yeah, take that off. Switch that. Hey, hey, hey. Whoever you are, I hope you're having a good night. And thank you for getting on and watching. If I won't stick around long, I wouldn't either. It's going to be a boring process of filming it. So pretty sure it's not all that fun to watch. Barrel cleaner right here. Yeah, if anyone's got any kind of opinions or comments or anything like that, I'd definitely like something to talk about other than myself. Yeah, that was a rough one. Look at that. Black. Smells wonderful though. Swear to God, I'm like sitting here getting high on this shit already. Not really. This stuff is strong though, man. It's weird. Like I try and push my glasses up, and every time I do, they just fall right back down here. It's like a perfect place for them to sit, I guess. It's kind of interesting. It makes me look like an old man too. So, this is a cleaner solution or a degreaser and all that kind of stuff. Get this all cleaned up and then we'll lube it, make it all nice and workable, smooth, workable. Get you guys in there. There we go. But anyway, so just so you guys know, still haven't been able to get one of them fucking raccoons I was telling you about. But it's not like I haven't tried. Believe me, you can ask my girl. I've stayed up a few nights. I even made a homemade silencer so that I could try and get them without creating a problem out here. Even though like my nearest neighbor is a mile or two down the road. I was asking one boy because he lives on the other side of where I live. It is so it's about 4 or 5 miles away where he lives. I was asking him because he was like, "Really? Does it work?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Did you hear it?" He goes, "Well, no." I'm like, "Well, then there you go. Because if you can't hear me 4 miles away, then you for damn sure ain't gonna hear all that." So apparently, this the suppressor I had made works, which is kind of nice. It's nice to know. Obviously, I do have to improve on it because to me, I feel like I can still hear it. To me, anyways. So, because I don't know what a suppressor sounds like in real life. I've never been on one in real life, but from what I've seen and heard, yo, what's up, Tyler? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing all right. Get this camera up. Sitting here cleaning up 410 right now, man. I know my live's a little bit early, but Gotta get up for work tomorrow after fucking cut down all the trees. Fuck when we did shit together. Fucking rushing through all that shit all the time. Getting the what's that shit called? Oh, landscaping, I guess. Mhm. Getting all that shit done. Yeah, today I took down a few trees. Well, not a few. I took down about fucking 6 trees. Did it with this little fucking Milwaukee saw. That thing's badass. It really is. It's a little tiny fucking handsaw. And it's an actual little chainsaw. It's got like a 12-inch blade on, or a 12-inch what the fuck is it called? Bar on it. It's nice, dude. It fucking cuts beautifully. As long as you keep it oiled, anyways. As long as you keep it oiled, that thing pretty much goes through almost anything that's about 8, 10 inches in diameter. Pretty crazy. Anyway, so now we're gonna get to the inside, get all this crap inside here cleaned up, and we'll get to lubing and cleaning. So I've actually lately I've been doing quite a bit of work at my house, trying to improve a few things. I gotta build her, my girl, anyways. I gotta build her a She wants a greenhouse, so I'm gonna build her one right off the porch. And because them fucking raccoons eat my chickens, I've had to reinforce the duck and goose coop or geese coop. So I'm gonna have to rebuild that. And once we get comfortable again, probably gonna end up doing chickens again. So I gotta rebuild the chicken coop before I get doing that. There it is. Fucking eggs are too damn expensive to be trying to fucking spend money on it. Same price as milk or some shit. I don't know. I haven't bought eggs in quite a while, so yeah. Definitely something you don't really want to be doing, buying a whole bunch of. Just like milk. Milk is fucking $4 or $5 a gallon. Fucking insane, dude. I remember we used to be able to go to the store and get a gallon of milk for $1. Get a carton of eggs for like, I think it was like two something. Like, and when I say carton, I mean like an 18 pack, not a fucking little 12 pack. It's crazy how much shit has changed. There it is. Sometimes I notice that, you know, while cleaning these, they get some gunk that you can't really get off with the degreaser and shit. So I end up using one of the smaller ones, one of the smaller barrels cleaners, kind of scraping that off with that. Works out pretty good. And I do like to use what are these things called? They go in your fucking ears. I just can't remember what they're called right now. For some reason, my mind is at a blank with them. I like to use those a lot because they get in areas that a cloth and whatnot can't get. And on top of it, I've noticed that a cloth usually leaves behind residue, or not necessarily residue, but it leaves behind whatever it's been used on before. Whereas these things, they don't. Um, the most they leave behind is maybe just a little bit of that fur that's on there. Q-tip. Aha! Jesus, how indeed. What what's it like out there? What's the price of the shit out there? I'm kind of curious on that. 'Cause everything here in Arizona has just gotten fucking stupid expensive. You know what? Let me turn my other screen over here. Read that shit a little bit better. In case you're wondering, yes, I do still work out. I still train. As of lately, I've been kind of lazy. Me and my girl both have, but yeah, kind of comes with the perks of working all the damn fucking time, trying to make shit run. that, and we just got a fuck ton of shit to do here at the house. It's fucking stupid. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, I gotta build an A-frame house, which I just cut down all the trees for, and then I gotta lay out the footers and all that, and it's gonna be like a. So I'm probably gonna do probably a 16 or an 18 by 20 or a 20 by 24. That's gonna make it to where he'll have like a little loft up top. Yeah, he's getting out of the Marines in April, I think my girl said. I don't know. I gotta ask him. I gotta text him and talk to him about a few things too, because you know, see what he wants to do. See if he's got any ideas in his head of what he wants to do. Matter of fact, if let me see if I can get text him and see if he can get on right now. Hmm. H. Why am I having a hard time finding H? There we are. I think I've already sent him my link. Maybe I haven't. Shit, probably gonna have to send him my link before I can send him a text to say get on here. But anyways, so as I was saying, what was I saying? Fuck, I don't know. Lost my train of thought. See, that's the why you don't smoke weed, kids. That's not what this is. This is just regular old vape. Trying to quit smoking. Went from cigarettes to cigars, and now I'm on these things. And they're, to be honest, like at first, for a long time, I was against them, and I'm still against most of them. Like there's ones that you can buy from like Circle K or whatever, and you hit them fuckers, and I swear to God, it's like somebody's fucking grabbing your lungs and just squeezing the shit out of it. It's fucking like a icy hand grabbing your shit. It's so weird. But this one, so I buy oatmeal cookies. Whereas I don't think I have it here with me, but I have a little jar. It's oatmeal cookie flavored. I like oatmeal cookies. Mm. I'm gonna have to hit my buddy up one of these times, and my YouTube buddy. I'm not gonna throw out any names because I'm not sure if he'd be okay with it. So I'm not gonna sit here and throw out any names. But he's pretty big on YouTube. Like, the dude fucking knows what the fuck he's doing. I'll say that. I've been trying to get advice from him, but he's been sick lately. As a matter of fact, I was going to take him and help him go get his registration for his new truck. He's doing pretty good though. Like I fucking did time with him too. Like I call that dude my brother. I mean, he's my brother. Like fucking, we went through some shit together. There was some shit I wasn't around for because obviously, I mean, you don't get to stay on the same yard as the person you're doing shit with, or even if you're doing shit yourself and he's not, or you are, and or you're not and he is. It doesn't matter. Like the moment they figure out that you guys are fucking hanging out and you guys are buddies, they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna keep you on the same yard. And he gets prison's another thing. I mean, I guess we can have a discussion about that. Why not? So yes, I am a convicted felon. Um, restored my rights and all that crap. Obviously, I got my fucking voting card and all that crap, and I got this lawyer and did all that. It's pretty fucking awesome. Now I got my fucking um fines and tickets from traffic violations and stuff like that. I gotta finish paying off now. That's another story, anyways. But anyways, yeah, no, I was went through the whole process, and I don't know, things are different in there. It's like a whole different world in there. It's like people talk about racism out here and all that crap. I mean, I'm sure there is real racism out here in certain places, but from my personal experience, from what I've seen and what I've dealt with, real racism is in there. Like, come on now. Like that was it's how it is. I mean, you're segregated. You're fucking you're if you're a stupid kid and you get involved in politics, then you're really stupid. And on top of it, you're really gonna learn how to be a racist. Then and it's not necessarily that the racists they just have their own belief. I guess is the way I would put it. I mean, it's like I said, it's a whole different world. I mean, it's like time stops. It's like and time stops is kind of a strong term. It's more of like time moves at a much slower pace in there. I guess is the better term for it. It just moves at a much different pace. One day in there is like I don't know, 100 days out here. I guess is maybe something I would put it out. Everything changes in there. Like you don't realize it when you go in there either. Not until after a little while. After a little while, you start to see it. You start to notice the differences in time. I guess because even the people in there, they view time differently. You know what I mean? You got the lifers. They don't view time the same way you and I do. They don't view years or days or whatever the same way you and I do. They view it entirely different. That's why they don't want to hear it in dudes. About how when they're getting out or whatever, they don't want to hear that shit. They ain't never getting out. That's their forever home. I mean, they're fucking and it's not until you're in that mindset that you view that time, that you view time like they do. The only way you're gonna get in that mindset is if you're doing that kind of time. So don't try and understand it. Don't try and ask about it because I don't understand. I'm not doing that kind of time, obviously, but I can relate to the numbness, I guess, because there are times where any man can put himself in that same thought process, that same what are they called? Instinctive mode, I guess. Instinctive mode. Where your only thought process is to survive what you have coming now, what you have left. Some of the dudes I don't even think want to survive. I think they're pretty much already dead. Not physically, but in their heads, you know what I mean? So some of the things that some of the dudes are able to do is man, the only way you're able to really do it is if you shut yourself off completely. And that's what I mean by I can relate to some of it. I know how to shut off all of that stuff. The hard part is trying to relearn it all, trying to um not only relearn it, I guess, but re yeah, pretty much relearn it is the only way I know how to say it. I feel like a dumbass because I'm sure there's another way to say it that you guys would actually understand, but unfortunately, I am a dumbass and don't know. So, okay, had to take away to make sure this is the right stuff. This is the degreaser and whatnot. So I mean, want to make sure it's the right stuff because I don't want the wrong stuff going in here. But anyway, so yeah, and I'm not gonna sit here and tout myself as somebody else because in there ain't nobody about it. In there, it's man, one wrong fucking move and you could be the dude that's next. Just because you're fucking in tight with whoever you think you're in tight with doesn't mean that you're in tight. Especially nowadays, the way I've seen it, the way I've heard it, I should say. 'Cause I haven't been in there, obviously, but the way I've heard is now it's just way worse. Now it's not even now there's not even a camaraderie. It's all about the dope and the money. You know. Out here, it's about status and money, right? And there, it's all about the dope and the money. Which, I mean, if you think about it, wouldn't you want to get away from where you're at if you were locked in a cage 24 hours a day, 23 hours a day, depending on what you are doing? Yeah, it's fucking, it gets pretty stupid. But the worst part is, you know, just like everyone I'm sure you guys have seen other YouTube videos and whatnot where they explain it, the commissary in the store and all that crap. There's a sad part to all that too. There's a fucked up part where people will get there's kids that'll get involved in dope and whatnot. That's why they had this specific rule when I was in there, where if you weren't 21, you could not fuck around. Um, Meaning you couldn't do drugs, you couldn't be involved in politics, you couldn't do certain things. You know what I mean? Just because they wouldn't allow it. They were trying to look out for you as a not yet an adult. In their eyes, you weren't an adult yet. Even though you're 18, yes, you were tried and convicted and whatever as an adult, you were still a kid. And until you reached the age of 21, you weren't allowed to do certain things. Hmm. I've been told that rule a whole bunch, and then one day I remember seeing it change because this kid got involved with people and thought he was cool, and because he was able to manipulate his way into that kind of crowd and whatnot, and started doing that kind of shit. Eventually, things went south for him, just like they would anybody. I don't know what the deal was or what happened or any of that kind of crap, but I know one day it was just one big mess. It usually is when there's a problem. There's nothing but one big mess. Hell, I could tell you guys about a riot. There's a riot back a few years ago. I'm not gonna be specific on dates, but 2 years ago there was a riot, and man, I remember seeing this dude running across the yard, and he had a pair of hair buzzers, clippers. Had them by the cord and was swinging them over his head like a lasso. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. So, oh, that was. You think you've seen it all until you've been in that place, man. Let me tell you what. That place shows you something entirely different than what you think. Even what you guys see on these videos of people telling you stories and experiences and whatnot, you'll never truly understand until you get in that situation. I mean, of course, it's entertaining. I'm not gonna say it's not because it is. But for those of you that think you could handle it, or those of you that think you're above it, and that all the stories that you hear and stuff like that can never happen to you because you're this big badass, right? Or you're just this killer or whatever the situation may be. Telling you what, man. Mhm. And there you ain't nobody but who they tell you to be. It's as simple as that. You're not gonna make it through it. You're not gonna become with somebody. You're not gonna fucking be this fucking one time deal where nobody's gonna fucking get to you, and you're gonna be this badass that does everything and can make everyone do what you want. Because I don't care how tough you are, 100 fucking men will put you in your place. And these are men that work out on the daily, every day. When I was in, it was mandatory. Like you had no choice. You had to work out. If you didn't work out, that was, well, you got what they call the hot one. Basically, someone would come over and punch you in your fucking mouth. And if you still refuse, well, somebody'd whip your ass. And if you still refuse, they'd send you off the fucking yard in an ambulance or a helicopter, whichever one they felt like. And that's if you made it past the second one, because the second one, if you make it to the second one, you're lucky as shit. If you make it to the third one, holy fuck. Like they showed you some love. Let me tell you what. Because them motherfuckers are brutal. They will fucking. I seen a dude get his head stomped in over fucking soup. And let me tell you what, a soup in there when I was in was like 35 cents, 36 cents, something like that. And I'm talking a ramen soup. Like it was fucking 35, 45 cents, something like that. Some fucking really cheap price. Mm. They would trade them out for cigarettes. And if you didn't pay, well, that was kind of fucking shit you got, dude. Like these dudes didn't play around about their fucking shit. And if you borrowed something, it was best to just fucking pay it back with whatever interest as soon as possible, and then never fucking go and get that shit again. Never go do that again unless you knew that you had 100% knew you had it. I mean, there was, and even then, if you knew you had it, why go get it? That was the biggest thing. Is like, why, dude? Like, why risk your neck when you can just be patient? Wait. It's like, yeah, the best way to describe it was just like you can't necessarily just do your time and get out. Like it's not how that shit works in there. If a riot pops off or your people get involved, what I mean by your people is your race, because you will have to pick a race, or at least you used to. I don't know if you still do. I'm hearing different stories about that now too. So like, don't quote me on this, but it was when I was in, it was racial segregation. I could not house with anyone outside of the white race. Now I'm hearing that you do. Now you can. But again, this is all hearsay. So, like, I don't know. If I were to go back in, I'm sticking with what I used to know because that's probably what's going to save me. I'll take an ass whipping from a cop rather than a fucking shank from an inmate. Yeah. It's just, there's just things you don't do or things you have to accept and do or deal with or whatever it is in a place like that. Because all it takes is one wrong word, one wrong move, and next thing you know, you're getting stuck. Next thing you know, you get stomped. It doesn't matter. It just fucking, that's all it takes. One wrong move, one wrong word. Kind of why I don't like talking about shit on here about it. I mean, you get all them other dudes that get on here and they'll tell stories about their experiences and whatnot. But that's the thing, is they're telling stories about their experiences. They're not mentioning any names. They're not mentioning any yards. They're not mentioning any of that shit, and they understand why. Just like I understand why. There's just certain things you don't do, certain things you don't say. Everyone's got their code, including inmates, including the cops at fucking Howard or what do they call it? We used to call it babysitting. When the babysitters would show up, because I mean, like they when you really think about it, they didn't really have full control. Because it is, if you were to take all the inmates on, say, any one of these yards, the cops are outnumbered like, I think it's like 10 to 1 or something. Like, come on now. Not to mention, it's only because of what do they call it? Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I'm like focused on this little spot that's got a whole bunch of crap in it, and I'm having a hard time getting it out. So it's bugging the fuck out of me. But anyways, and so the uh the basis of all that was just to say, just if you can avoid it at all costs, do. And if you can't, one thing you do, whatever race you are, go to your race, show them your paperwork, shut your mouth, and keep your nose clean. Like what I mean by keep your nose clean is just get back. And until you're needed, do your time. Don't get me wrong, you will be needed. There will come a time when you are needed. At least if you have a decent amount of time. But, and you might even get lucky and not have to do anything. You might get lucky and you know, end up going through your whole time with just fucking picking back. Nothing happening, no fucking drama, no bullshit. That would be fucking awesome. That actually makes me think of and remember a buddy of mine. He's done time too. Yes, I have a lot of buddies who've done time. I think everyone has done time. Usually does after that. But anyways, so one of my buddies, when he gets in his little down moods or whatever, his depression moods, he's he's like, man, I should just go ahead and fucking do something to go back. Ask him why, because it's easier in there. What do you mean? Well, in there, to deal with drama, you literally fucking deal with the drama right then and there. And usually the drama in there is just fucking somebody calling somebody else out, somebody calling somebody a fucking name, some fucking whatever showing up. It's not really like the drama out here. The drama out here is just much more head games, much more bullshit. To be honest, it's actually fucking irritating as fuck. It's the games, the 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 crap that comes with it. Like I'll give it for instance, all this crap on women hating men and whatnot. My girl don't hate me. My girl don't hate men. She hates certain men, and I don't blame her. And they did certain things to her that made her feel a certain way, and it now affected her in a certain way. Just like my ex-wife did things to me and it affected me in a certain way. But anyways, it's that crap nowadays has gotten stupid. Person can't be a person anymore. They gotta be fucking a puppet for all these other people. It's actually gotten quite fucking stupid with it. Women wonder why men don't want to get married. Well, they don't want to play all these fucking games. They don't want to have to sit here and make you feel like you're what do they call it? I can't think of the word right now. I'm getting tired. Probably gonna end up finishing up this and probably calling it a night because, like I said, I'm pretty fucking beat. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fucking beat. I've had a long day, a very long week. It seems like it's all I keep having is just longer and longer days and weeks. Oh, okay. What the fuck the deal is with this thing? There we go. Beautiful. Now let's get this cleaned up. Put it all back together. Huh. God damn it. Hour long. What time is it? It's already fucking 10 o'clock. Man, am I tired. And I gotta be up at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't necessarily have to be up, but I gotta get my kids up and get them ready for school. So, yes, I do. As much as I'd like to say, no, I don't. I don't have to be up at that time. As a father, you get to do things you don't want to do all the fucking time. You get to deal with things you don't want to deal with all the fucking time. And if you don't want to have to do those things, wear a fucking condom. Or make sure she's on birth control. And I mean, make sure. But if you're one of them dudes that's, I don't know, I want to be a dad. I want to this, that, and the other. Man, it's a lot more than fucking sticking your dick in a woman. Like a lot fucking more. It's a lot more than what you see on movies and TV and all that crap too. Like it takes a lot out of you and it wears you the fuck down. And you can't be a dad without all those things. You really can't. Because for one, nobody's a perfect dad. As much as I'd fucking try to be, I'm not a perfect dad. And it sucks. As much as I want to be, I'm not. Come on, get in there, fucker. You dirty bastard. Damn thing is giving me a problem. What the fuck? Damn thing. And I hurry this up too, because I'm tired, like I said. You guys are probably tired of hearing me. Process up. Yeah, no, I should definitely be in there for. Oh, I'm sure it's both closed. I'd be irritated. Okay. Come on, I need something kind of skinny. This will be a trick. Anything skinny. Nice. I got that. Get this together. All these for safety. I can definitely get it back together, but I won't have no safety. Hmm. There we go. Figure it out. It only took forever. Damn it. Of course, now I won't be a pain in the ass as soon as I figure it out. Damn it. Thought I had it. Just not. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have it. That was a major pain in the ass. Yeah. Now we can get all this back together. That's it. That's it. No, this thing must be a pain in the ass. There we go. Got it. All right. I'm just about finished with all this, and then as soon as I get this fucking thing to work right, we'll be good. What the fuck you do, little bastard? Damn it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I had. Oh, fuck. Seems I can't hang on to stuff. Symptoms are starting to get tired. Jaw popping and all that. Screwdriver. So there's another one. Anyways, so I'm gonna get this fucking thing figured out. Figure out why the fuck it's not wanting to do what I tell it to do. Just be a pain on. What in the fuck? Hey, got another one. I hope. It's pretty sad though. I'm hoping for viewers. Sorry. Keep forgetting I got the big ass screen over here so I can actually just look over and see who's trying to comment or whatever. If there's anybody commenting. What in the fuck? There we go. That's the problem is this. I'm not understanding why it's not wanting to fucking keeps acting out. So I'm trying to figure out why it's not wanting to do what it's supposed to. It's not going all the way in like it's supposed to. It's a piece of shit. Cannot make no fucking sense. Uh-oh. Nice, I see it. No, I see that. There we go. Yeah, so we got that. That's right. Mm-hmm. It doesn't want to come out of that. That's what the issue is. There we go. You're not fucking setting me. Sorry, I know it's probably boring just sitting here watching me. Trying to get some fucking music going or whatever, but I'm gonna do that just yet. I'm working on it. Shit. Every time I get it, do someone fucking go right back in. Pain in my ass. There we go. Fucker. Okay, now we got that. Mm, okay, so awesome. Check that out. Yep, and we're good. Okay, make sure this mechanism works real quick. I gotta remake that. Oh, it's gonna drive me fucking nuts. This thing will rip your fucking finger off. Oh, piece of shit. True. Mhm. Damn. All right. Now it should be. Mm, That's how it should go. You pretty bastard. That's what- There we go. Yeah. Damn. That makes more sense. All right. Let's get this back. Shit, it's in there now. So it's not 61. Cool. 60 words. Awesome. This is not the fun part at all. Because you're like right there at the very end, so you want to just stop. That would be what you call procrastination. After this earlier. Go outside and get some air because I'm fucking roasting. Maybe next time I'll do some like workouts or something with you guys. This one rifle took me an hour. I thought I'd have enough time to do maybe two of them, but obviously I don't. Get some rest. It's already yeah, it already is 10:30. Jesus. Time to eat my little nighttime snack and pass the fuck out. Oh, fuck, I still gotta do editing on this too. See, there's always fucking something to do. No matter how hard you try, you still got shit to do. If I don't edit these videos, it's really gonna be fun. Like my last video that went ahead and posted on its own. Fucker. That's probably what's gonna end up happening to this. I'll probably forget to edit it and it'll probably just post on its own. Whatever. Mm. I know my shit's not such a kid content, so if you're under the age of 18, you probably shouldn't be watching this. Not my fault if you are. There's no words in it. Like, when did we start fucking censoring that kind of shit? Like, when I was growing up, one of the very first movies I watched was, me and my girl were just talking about was, Night of the Living Dead. Very first fucking scary movie I ever watched. It was black and white. It's fucking badass. I found out later on, did you know that in that movie, they used barbecue chicken to make the effects seem real? Cool. Mm. There we go. Not happy about that. Cool. Matter of fact, I think we even fixed that one problem we were facing. Yeah, we did. Cool. Oh, I see why. Because it don't care when it's not loaded. Terms and safety. Ooh, no, cool. Safety works too. Yep, we're good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's it for tonight. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, or we'll see about tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you all for watching.